especially when a captain is talking about mofongo. Now he's got me going at it. That I want to get some.
Where's Mofongo?
Mofongo is green plantains, uh, lightly cooked, lightly fried. Then they get smashed and boil and all that. And then you get it becomes like a um, oh my god, like when you have flour that gets mixed with water and then becomes like a solid form. But the
Okay.
thing is that you dip that on chicken broth and then you eat it with meat. Oh my god, excellent!
I'll take your word for it.
You get it at a lot of Puerto Rican restaurants.
Gotcha.
Alice didn't care for it too much, but I love it. Every time I get the chance to eat it, I'm on it. So I do enjoy that a lot. I didn't know they had. I think day one is in Philly or close. Yeah, he's somewhere in that area or Delaware, one of those places. So he's near Philly, near the airport, the Philadelphia airport. So
Thank you, Carmen.
my replica is smaller and comes with a submarine. Okay, you have my videos. Yeah, he had the. I didn't know that Atlantis had the feeding grounds there with
The aquarium.
the manta rays. I didn't know
It
that.
has it has a big aquarium that you can walk through. I don't know if I have any of the videos or pictures of the walkthrough. Else I would have added it. I just stumbled across that video the other day. That's from 2017.
Oh, okay.
Um, I figured might as well put it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But they have one of their slides. You actually slide through,
Yeah,
and you got sharks and all around you.
yeah. That part I know. That part I know, but I didn't know that they fed manta rays and stuff like that. The last
Yeah.
time we were there was back in 20 2019, was it, or 2020? 2019. We went there. We went to the Bahamas and we took the little ferry ride to the island, hang around Atlantis, went into the casino, hang around. I found a room card and I kept it with me in case if anybody asks, you staying here? I will be going like, yes, key card right here.
Yeah.
And then we walked around in the back and took pictures of the pond back there with the those big trikes that you could do the thing in the water
Mhm.
and all that. Hey, Mike and Rihanna, how you doing?
They look fun.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Mike, thank you.
He's the one that did the video that I showed a little while ago. So I like it. I like it. I like it. Tiffany says like the Jeep from Jurassic Park, Sharon. I have one of those license plates from one of those cars when Jeeps from when they first came out in Jurassic Park in Orlando, long time ago. A buddy of mine that lives here in Georgia wanted it, and I say, nope, it's all mine. It's for my Jeep, which a Jeep I never had that I haven't bought yet. So I don't know. I've been that's what I want lately. I wanna we get a second car. I want to be a Jeep. So that
That's
probably
what my
will.
daughter wants.
The
She's
what?
my daughter's been obsessed with Jeeps like since she was real young.
Yeah.
So
Which the middle one or the youngest?
no, the youngest.
Okay, she's not driving yet, right?
No,
Okay, so I
even
think
the
so.
middle one's able to drive, but she didn't want to drive. She's 17, doesn't have her license yet.
That's my daughter was the same thing when she was 17. I'm never gonna drive it. I don't need to drive in Brooklyn. Now she drives everywhere. She
Man,
doesn't do the buses or the train anymore. She has to go somewhere, even to the corner. She drives.
well, tonight she wants to go to dance or concert or something. I
Yeah.
said, now, I got to do something tonight, but if you would have taken the time to put your hours in, you'd have your license and you'd have been got plenty of vehicles now. You could have easily taken a vehicle up there. So we got to figure out what we're doing.
Hey, just the way it is,
Yep.
Sometimes they want to do things their way, and that's it. Hey, Master Drill, how you doing?
What's going on?
Welcome in. Yeah. Um. Oh, wait a minute. Here. We have a van driving around that looks like the Jurassic Park vehicle. Oh, okay. Up there in nice in Indiana.
Indian.
We've been in the aquarium in Tampa. We love it. We went to the riverfront, listened to music there, food trucks there. Nice, nice, Cindy. Oh, that's right. When you guys came down uh, last year to do the Horizon, you get to do it again next year. We all get to do it together. Nice. Yep, yep, yep. Very nice. We go to do all the crazy stuff there too. My oldest didn't want to either. I'm gonna say he needed to get it because I wasn't driving him to welding at 7 a.m. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Definitely.
7 a.m. is actually a late start for most construction. Like I said,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
start at 6. I got to leave my house at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning every day.
We have a van here that looks like the 18 van, which is pretty cool. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl. How you doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too.
No.
Thank you for coming in and stopping by. I appreciate that. Hope Jeremy's doing well. I haven't seen Z's. I don't know what Z's been doing. I'm surprised that he's not here, hanging out and doing something, out of the ordinary, or getting in the chat here. Scott, I'm putting the link back out on the chat in case you're in the mood. You could come in if you like, and we could talk about something else. We're talking about driving right now, and earlier we were talking about food and some crazy stuff that we were doing. So, and the premieres that we had today is, well, he's playing his game. Okay. This was a school class in the next town over. Factories here start at 4 in the summer, 5 in the winter, typically. Ouch. Ouch, ouch,
Mm.
ouch. Hey, howdy, howdy. How you doing, Roy? How you doing? How you doing, sir? I don't know how you still in quarter size by yourself. I would have got the stuff out of there a long time ago. That would be cool. Mike and Rihanna. Mike and Rihanna, where you at? What you doing? Oh, the van thing. Okay. Like the 18. That's pretty cool. It's like some of those cars that I seen. What was that? On we're driving somewhere. Me and to New Orleans. We were driving the last time, and on the way there, we saw one of those trucks with different cars. They had um, the Snoopy. No Snoopy. The crazy the Dream Machine.
Oh, Mystery Machine.
The Mystery Machine. There you go. Thank you. They had that car.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. Yes. They had 5 or 6 other different cars painted like that for the different shows. That must have been going to some kind of show or something. The one
Yeah,
that
I've
they
seen
were.
them. I've actually seen them going down the road in a line before.
So definitely, they were up to something. So that is pretty cool. 92 there.
Mm.
Oh, no, 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 no! You keep
Too
that. I don't want it.
too hot for me.
It's in the 70s here because it rained earlier, big time. Sharon, it did rain here hard earlier. I made a short and put it on my channel for about I'll say like 25 minutes. It was coming down big time. So there goes my plans of finishing the yard this weekend. So we'll see what happens with that. How you doing, sir?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You're up to no good. That's
Well, I've been running around all day, so I'm still not done running, but so I've been shopping, picking up stuff. So one of the things I just grabbed here is grab this here. I don't know if you know what this is here, a Stream Deck.
Is that for boards? For sound effects?
No, I mean you can do like gazillions of things with it, right? So,
Okay.
But yeah, so because I was talking to Eddie about this, I'm gonna try to develop a weekly live stream myself, maybe a minimum weekly. I might do it a couple times a week or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and what I had actually said was that for my premiere, I was actually hoping to get Eddie, Mike, Clock, and Jeremy in on the premiere. So if you're so interested,
Yeah.
Just let me know when.
to it. But so I'm just putting things together and stuff for it. I think I finally got the new PC build to where it's like gonna work now and stuff. Like everything is set up and configured for it and everything else. It's all ready.
Yeah.
So I got the Stream Deck and I'm gonna work on some lighting and things like that or whatever. Because like this angle here is just basically just straight out from this webcam that I have here that I use sometimes for when I'm when I'm zooming with clients and stuff like that or whatever. But I have a kind of like a whole rig set up over here, so that is a little bit more kind of like studio-ish. So you can kind of see it here. I don't know if you can see it or not in here, but so
Okay.
Gotcha.
I got, camera there in the middle and studio lights and multiple monitors and, it's a whole 9 yards. So anyway, but yeah. So how's everyone's spring going so far? Should probably find Eddie's. It's probably been warm since like February where Eddie lives, right?
You'll be surprised.
Yeah,
How things
Mine's
are
been
here.
nice. Normally it goes from extremely cold to extremely hot.
yeah, right. So like, because Mike, I think Mike, you live like your weather's probably very similar to mine, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not far from me,
Yep.
kind of geographically, but yeah. So that's what it basically does here. It goes from cold to just like boom, hot one day. There's not much actual kind of in spring kind of weather in between.
No. We
Between
normally go from 40 to 80.
Here between January and now, it's been 45 seasons.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I guess Atlanta is kind of like pretty far north, right?
It's just weird. Sometimes it gets cold, really cold. There's a week that could be down in the 20s every morning,
Yeah.
40s in the afternoon, and then
Right.
the following week could be in the 70s, 80s. Then it drops back again to the 40s. Then the following week's in the cold weather. It's
Yeah.
just been weird. But at least I'm able to deal with it better than I ever did in New York anyway. So I just go with the flow, So one of those deals. Like Sharon says
Oh,
here, it's 82 in South Georgia, and I kept telling you we're in the same town, same area. I'm only about an hour and a half north of you, so I'm not too far. But it's usually like a degree difference from me, but we're still here, So
Jeremy, so it's gonna be like it just hooks, USB straight into the computer, and Stream Deck has its own software. So, once it gets configured in there, then it depends on what software you're going to use. So like for instance, if I'm going to use StreamYard, then I have to go in and define what each button does, right? So each button is programmable for anything. I mean, you can have it do anything. Honestly, like you can set up one of the buttons so that you can start your live stream, or so you could and then you push it again, it would kill the live stream. You can have it set up so that it brings one light on at 10% and the other light on at 50%. You can have it do sound effects. You can have it throw filters on the screen. You can have it do anything really. I mean, it's extremely versatile, and there's a lot of software version ones too, but I just didn't want to have to kind of fumble on the screen. I just want it sitting here in front of the computer, kind of down off the camera, but I just want to be able to sit, I just want to be able to push buttons and just have it execute stuff. So, and sometimes I don't have much of an imagination either, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to have it set up to do yet, but I definitely knew that when I started, if I'm going to start a stream, I definitely knew I wanted to do it. So and I appreciate you guys answering questions. I've been like hammering Jeremy and Eddie on questions about this whole streaming and stuff like that. So, and I'm sorry for being so retarded about it. So, but it's kind of like I mean, you'd think that I wouldn't have a lot of questions about it and stuff like that, but I mean, it just really seemed kind of like everybody was like pulling from a schedule and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I wanted to be as respectful as I could, right? I don't want to pick somebody's time that's already doing it and stuff like that or whatever. And I know that you had mentioned that if I just throw a thumbnail out there or whatever, somebody's going to pick it up. Like, where am I throwing the thumbnail? See, isn't that a stupid question? Like, like where are you talking about throwing the thumbnail out? Just out on my channel that it's going to be an upcoming live stream? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and it will.
I kind of figured that's what you're talking about. But
Do you are you on Paul Vine's?
yeah, I'm at his group. I'm on his group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could throw one up there too, and they make the lineup today, and they put you in the lineup.
Right. Somebody had talked about like Meg has like a spreadsheet or something like that or whatever.
Yeah, she has a spreadsheet about the links.
So,
Yeah.
but I probably
That's her own thing.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, so I mean, it's just that I mean, like everybody's already in on this. Everybody's already doing what they're doing, and I'm coming in late on it or whatever. And I just I want to play nice with everybody about it. So
now this is the Megan that has the spreadsheet. Like Megs and Cheese or Megs and C's. She's not the one with the spreadsheet. This one right here, GGM creates. She's the one who has the spreadsheet.
Oh,
Meg has a spreadsheet of the links.
Pick a time.
Gotcha.
But yeah. GGM creates here has the that she does a spreadsheet for the right parade and the side of the straw.
Gotcha. Okay, so all right. Well, then let me grab that information then too. So,
My cat sleeping
What's
here.
going on?
Mr. Bellube, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry I'm not trying to interrupt the conversation, but I did want to say hello and see how y'all doing.
We're hanging in there, sir. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
All right.
Life is sweet. So
Yes, definitely. Yes. I mean, we're awake. We're moving. We're breathing. So we're doing good today.
yeah, every day above ground is a good day.
Amen to that. Definitely.
So
Definitely. I just videotaped one of my cats sitting here like she owns the place, and I couldn't pass that up. Right,
I
girl?
understand. Hey, I love critters. So in fact, I've got a channel called Belt Loop 29 Cute Critters. Mostly nothing but animals. I loaded up. I went to the Home Depot a little bit ago and found a couple people with dogs while I was in there. Go looking for them, but just happened across them, and just shot a real quick short of both of them. And one of them I've already got public. I mean, it ain't no big deal, but 1,000 views in the first hour. I was happy with that.
People love the animals.
Yeah.
Right.
If you put animals in your hashtags and all, I mean, they love that.
Definitely.
I love cats, but I can't have one because I travel too much. Thing would be dead.
My wife's allergic to them.
Oh.
Yeah, like my wife is allergic to all but like 7 known like things in like seriously, like years ago she went to allergists and they poke your the underside of your forearms, right?
Yeah.
Every substance you could ever possibly be allergic to, and she reacted to she reacted to like all but 7 of them, right? She had to get allergy shots for 5 straight years.
Yeah,
So,
I used to take them. So, in fact, I got a funny story related to allergies. I don't know if y'all want to hear it though.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll tell you. First, I should point out, I'll set the scene for you. I was just, I was a youngin'. I guess I was 16 or 17 at the time. And we had moved to Houston, and we went to Klein Forest High School is where I was going the first part of that year, and we struggled a little bit, and so they moved us over to this church school, private. Wasn't but like 12 people, 12 students in the thing, and they worked on, and they had some real idiots for professors. Good to see you down under, cruisers. Good day, mate. Good day. Anyhow, the but you know when it, I ain't gonna go into that, but I will say, well, the fact is, I don't typically discuss religion or politics just because the fact they're two things that people have been used to beat each other about the head for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm not a spiritual person, and it don't mean I don't hold my own political beliefs and the way things ought to be run. But I don't really have a voice to begin with, and nothing I think matters. So why even bother? All it's going to do is create strife, and I don't want that. I would rather bring people together than I had divide them.
That's
And
right.
so,
Yep.
but anyhow, so I was going to this private school, 13 students, and then hello, kitty, simple music. I was going to this private school. All right, and we worked in these paces, and we had these little desks that were along the wall. You drop down the thing, put in the dividers, and you just sat there and worked in a book. It was boring as all get out. And I also had a job where I was working at Wendy's. Remember, I was 16, 17 years old at the time. I guess I had to be 17. Anyhow, and I had allergies bad, have my whole life. I'm allergic, like your wife, to pretty much anything and everything, it seems like. And I am very allergic to cats, by the way. I think some of them are cute as all get out, but I ain't going to have any near my house or in my house. I just can't. I'd spend all my time, my eyes puffy and bloodshot and, miserable. But anyhow, I was working late at the Wendy's. I helped them close one night. I came in to school the next morning, and we came in. Hey, cruising scene, Mike and Rihanna Family Vlogs. I'm sorry, I don't mean to spout out at the mouth like I do, but I see the names pop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So I came into school after closing the night before, and my allergies were going ballistic on you. I mean, I hadn't had enough sleep, and my eyes were just pouring, with watering. So I sat down at my desk, and I didn't feel like working those stupid booklets. They were a waste of time anyhow. So I laid my head down on the desk and was trying to, get some rest because I ain't had none. I ain't had no sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the principal, who also happened to be the preacher at this particular church, come in and he says, "Gary, come with me." I said, "Go." I get up, start walking out of the room. Once we get out of the main room where everybody's at, I say, "All right, what am I in trouble for now?" Every time I turned around, somebody's getting on to me about something.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little bit of I'm more of a libertarian where I'm kind of like being alone, even though I can't help but be social. But a lot of times at the house, I just prefer to be here at the house. Um, Anyhow, I get out there. He didn't say anything. We go up to his office. He said, "Gary, it's obvious to me that you're breaking your parents' hearts." I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "It's obvious to me that you're stoned." I said, "What do you mean? It's obvious to you?" He said, "Well, he said, your eyes are bloodshot." I said, "Yeah, I have allergies and they're watering." Allergies, he said, "And you put your head down on your desk." I said, "Yeah, I closed work last night. I didn't get any sleep." He says, you're breaking your parents' hearts. This type thing. And I was like, good night in the morning. Where do they come from? The anyhow, so I said, "Look, do you mind if I call my parents?" He said, "Go ahead." Well, I started to dial the house, but then I remembered that there was nobody at home. Daddy was at work. I don't remember where Mama was at that time,
Yeah.
but there wasn't anybody home. So I stopped and I started dialing his work number. Well, that to him was a surefire sign. I couldn't remember the number where I was dialing, so he and anyhow, I called him. He said, "Well, have you told him you have allergies?" I said, "I tried telling him that." He said, "Did you tell him you worked late last night?" I said, "I'll let you tell him." And I handed the phone over to him. And I still don't think they believe me. But I was pretty much after that I just kind of quit going. I you know I ended up we moved to Mississippi and I finished up here. But because of my allergies, you know, Nimrod thought I was stoned. I didn't even like taking aspirin. The Anyhow, I'm sorry, I ramble.
No problem. I go through that in the mornings. My first cup of coffee, for some reason, my nose gets liquidy. That's about it. And I just gotta keep wiping. And by the second cup, I'm fine. And I guess it's the weather that I hear something. I'm not used to this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I go.
Like I said,
I go through one of these boxes of tissues every 4 to 6 days,
Ouch.
constantly, nonstop. I have probably 40 or 50 of these boxes in the laundry room. Like I have to buy them in bulk because
Is that is that from allergies?
it's got to be from something because I don't know what
Well,
else would make my
let,
nose run the way it does, but my nose is running constantly.
let me ask you a question. I'm just asking. Have you ever tried local honey?
Um, I'm going to give you the super, super, super fast abridged version of this. Okay.
So that's yes.
Yes. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you a super fast abridged backstory version of
Okay.
of my answer of why I'm answering yes. So I am deathly terrified of anything that flies and stings.
Yeah.
So much to the point where I will run like a spastic schoolgirl if I even think that I heard something buzzing near my ear. Okay,
Wow.
I've always been this way. I've never been able to break myself from it. I have thousands of cans of Yellow Jacket spray stationed all around my house and property, ready to just strike because I cannot deal with these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're commonly referred to as a-holes with wings, right? That's kind of like what they call Yellow Jackets, right?
Yeah.
Definitely terrified. Sitting here one time watching, sitting here watching something on YouTube or whatever, and the algorithm gives you what you watch, right? Like, so recommend stuff to you that you watch, right? I've
Yeah.
never watched anything like this ever in my life, but out of nowhere, a video about beekeeping showed up in my feed. Okay, so here comes the abridged version of it. 2.5 years later, which would have been about 3 years ago. No, would have been about 4 years ago. I spent 2.5 years watching bee videos, going to Penn State extension courses to learn how to become a beekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I become a beekeeper. And the next thing you know, I start with a colony in my backyard. And the next thing I know, I have 7 colonies of bees, right? And I am not terrified or afraid of bees at all. But yellow jackets, wasps, anything else, can't stand them to this day, right? In fact, I was out finishing the planting in my garden today,
Mm-hmm.
and a yellow jacket was buzzing around, and I had to take his butt out, right? Like I
Yeah.
had because I can't be around them. I can't even give them an opportunity to even start screwing with me. I just take them out, right?
Yeah.
So I have never in my entire life been more happy and more content and in any way more at peace and at, just felt like I was actually supposed to do beekeeping than with beekeeping. Like,
Yeah.
it out of nowhere. I fell in love with beekeeping, loved it, still love it. In fact, if like I'm constantly searching for land or space about the size of a school bus in somebody's backyard or whatever, I will literally stop and knock on people's door and say, "You've got a really great piece of property. Do you mind if I put some beehives or whatever in your backyard?" And they always tell me no, right? So here's what happened. I get 3 years into beekeeping. I'm having the time of my life. I've fallen completely in love with it. People are like, my neighbors are like thrilled about it. I'm selling honey to them, and everybody is loving it, and it's just amazing.
Stop.
And I go to the mailbox one day, and there's a letter from the township commissioners, and they're like, "You have 5 days to get rid of your honeybees, or we're coming there and we're going to burn them out."
Wow.
There's no appeal, there's no exception or anything else. I called them and I said, "There's an ordinance in the township that allows me to have honeybees." They're like, "Yes, there is, but we're telling you that where you have your bees is unacceptable to us, and we've looked at your property and there's no other place on your property that we would feel comfortable with you relocating them to. So you have 5 days to get rid of them." Just like that.
Wow.
No appeal, no exceptions, no nothing.
Mm.
I was just a neighbor lady of mine was just talking to me the other day, and she said, "How's it going?" and stuff like that. And I said, "You know what? I still feel like I obviously don't know what this feels like, but I think I feel like somebody does when they lose their child."
Yeah.
Like, honestly. Like, that's how, like, I feel like there's this hole in this missing part of me now that my bees are gone. And it's years later, and I still feel like they got taken from me yesterday.
I'm sorry. I really am.
So, yeah. So, in any event, believe it or not, I still have several bottles of honey left from my last harvest from years ago, but obviously my supply is getting down to almost nothing. But yeah, so in fact, I probably eat it on a regular basis. So I don't know what the deal is with it, but like my nose runs constantly nonstop. It just never stops, and I don't know why. And I've seen an allergist about it, and I'm not allergic to. I've had allergy tests, and I'm like not allergic to almost anything.
Can I ask what state you're in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
Yeah. So don't I sound like it?
Well, you ain't from around these parts. That's
No, I definitely.
Definitely.
My family is from the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia.
okay.
I was born and lived here, but they're all from there. So yeah, so they have a southern, like I have this, I like to think I have this good ability to determine or to distinguish between a southern accent and a deep south accent.
Well, where would you say, based on how I'm speaking, any guesses where I might be from?
I'm making that distinction because you definitely sound deep south.
Well, I am from the South. In fact, I probably said it earlier, but I mean, I do from time to time. Hey, I understand Down Under Cruisers. Hey, J&S Adventures. Texas. God bless Texas.
Is Texas really the South? That's kind of like saying Florida is the South. Like, I don't think Florida is really the South either. Like,
all right,
Florida's kind of like New England type, like New England relocated or
All
something.
right. So what do you consider deep south?
So this is what I consider deep south. All the Gulf states, so Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana.
Bingo. You already hit it. First one
Yeah.
out the gate.
Yeah. So those are the deep south ones for me, right? That I consider deep south. Maybe southern Georgia, possibly, right? Not Florida, not Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe parts of Arkansas and stuff like that, possibly, like southern Arkansas and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Tennessee,
Now,
Kentucky, that's all mid south, right?
I got a little bit of an unusual. I've got a lot of influence from here, but also my daddy's a Yankee, so I got a little bit of Indiana in me. And we've lived in Texas and Florida a lot too. But
Yeah.
I do live in, my family is from Mississippi.
Gotcha.
But as we like to say, Mississippi. Otherwise, they look at you like you're a Yankee if you say Mississippi. If you actually go and enunciate the whole thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I hand to goodness, hand to God.
Yeah.
When we moved from Florida into Texas, into Houston, and I was going to Spring or Klein Forest,
Uh-huh.
I was in class 11th grade, and teacher asked me to work a problem up on the board. So I said, all right, do this, do this, do this. Now, take that number and put it over yonder. Just as soon as I said yonder, everybody in the class bust out laughing, saying I sounded like a redneck. I didn't mind. I consider that a point of pride. The reason why somebody's a redneck is they work all day, and the sun beating down on them.
Yeah.
So, but then I move over here to Mississippi, and I said something other about being, now that we're in Mississippi, and I actually enunciated, and then somebody says, you sound like a Yankee. So it don't matter. Like I said, I've got a little bit of, my accent's probably a little bit of Texas, a little bit of Florida, a little bit of Mississippi, a little bit of Indiana, but mostly, I guess, Southern.
Yeah. So when I talk to my family members that live in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, one of the things they always laugh when, like, they don't laugh every time I talk. Like, what like if I go down there to visit or whatever, when I first show up, like the first things that come out of my mouth, they start laughing about it or whatever. And I ask them why. I mean, I know why now, but I always ask them why when I first started going down there, and they would always say that I enunciate everything, and that's what they key in on because they don't do that, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you start going.
I'm from Pennsylvania, so that's just how I talk too. So
makes perfect sense. I think that language is something that I really enjoy. In fact, my daddy used to speaks about 4 or 5 languages, and he like I said, he's from Indiana, but he got his PhD in psychology, and he speaks about 4 or 5 languages, and he reads about a dozen, I guess. But so I got around my family, you have to keep up with your $5 words. They have their own lexicon that really is, well, like, I ain't gonna start throwing out $5 words because there ain't no point to it. But, I'll throw out 2 of my favorite ones if you'd like to hear them: Callipygian and sesquipedalian. Those are 2 of my favorites. Callipygian is somebody with a well-shaped buttocks, and that's probably why I like it so much. And if you'd like to know how to spell it so you can look it up, it's Callipygian. Callipygian. Sesquipedalian is somebody who likes to use $5 words. Just easy way of saying it. And that's sesquipedalian, spelled Sesquipedalian. Sesquipedalian.
Nice.
But sometimes them $5 words are very specific and have a certain leaning towards it, I guess, that just is a little bit clearer than using a 5-cent word. Or sometimes people just like using them $5 words, make them other people think they're smart. So I don't know.
So like I live in the south central part of Pennsylvania. So we can always tell when somebody's from the Pittsburgh area because in the Pittsburgh area, they use this term to refer to people. Like I live here, but I say y'all a lot and stuff like that. I think a lot of people do. But if you're in Pittsburgh, they use a word called yins.
Say what?
It's the way they spell it is Yinz. Yins. Yins is how it comes out. So they always say like Yin's going here or Yin's been over there or where Yin's coming from, and so they say Yins, and it's
So
only a Pittsburgh thing, like Pittsburgh and the surrounding area. Nobody else in Pennsylvania says Yins. So whenever somebody says Yins, they're like Pittsburgh. So
kind of sounds like Ewans.
kinda, but it's Yins.
Or New York Utes. How about the Utes?
Utes. Yeah, that was a good movie. My cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 Utes. Yeah.
What? Like Mike here. He's from is it Mars?
Maryland,
Mars?
Mars. Yeah.
Mars?
So
So you're
I
from
say
Baltimore area, though, right?
I'm like an hour south of Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
But I say things like wash. So I put an R in the word wash. Or Washington. That's just the way I say it. And
My
a lot of people
mother-in-law
in Maryland
called
do
it
that.
Washington, and oh my god, drives me crazy every time she says, "Are you guys going to Washington or Baltimore?" I'm
Yeah.
like,
My wife
Just-
gets on me all the time.
Just so I can answer the thing on the right here, Sepulveda.
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 "Are you on the Eastern Shore or not?"
No,
No. Okay.
I'm
Not quite that far.
well, I'm on the opposite side of the Eastern Shore. I'm like 5 minutes to the bay on one way and 5 minutes to the Patuxent River the other way.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like my wife's aunt is from Annapolis. She used to live now. She doesn't live there anymore. She lives in the Washington suburbs now, but
Yeah.
She's from Annapolis and stuff and lived there. And we used to go down there all the time. She would take us to this like crab house or whatever on the Riva River or whatever called Mike's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
amazing
I've eaten at Mike's before.
place. Like it had a massive outdoor deck and stuff like that, right? Oh man, really great place. So if you live near there, I'm coming to visit.
That's about 40 minutes from my house. 30, 40 minutes.
Gotcha.
Tiffany's back. She's saying hello to everybody here. You in
Hello.
JNS.
We definitely have our fair share of crab houses and seafood places down here, though, because like you said, I'm right in between the bay and the Patuxent River.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let me go through and I'm gonna say hello on each of my channels, just for fun.
Hey, go right ahead, sir.
And I'm gonna go ahead and hit the like button with each of them. So
Sweet. Treat. You could type hashtag ELS and your link will pop on my chat.
okay,
Hashtag clock on my clock's chat.
let's see. I'll go through.
You can hashtag Timu, but it's not going to get your link to show up.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I never drop my link on my main channel. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about the subscribers on that. For some reason, it just make sure I've got everything. The dadgummit, I hit the wrong button.
Hey, Scott, what did that soundboard cost you?
150.
150. Okay.
Yeah, so they have 3 of them. So this one's the top. The one I have is the top one. So it has the most buttons, right? It's the XL. And then they have one in the middle that I think has about, I don't know, 15 or 20 buttons or something like that or whatever. And then they have the small mini that only has 6 buttons. So, but I just figured I would go for the larger one. I don't have to use all the buttons, but eventually I'll probably find uses for all the buttons. And like I said, what's great about them is that, if there's a feature you put in on one and then you find out you're not using it or whatever, you just delete it, because it's dynamic. So you can just constantly change what each button does, just through the software. And in software interface, super easy, really intuitive. Works with every platform, OBS, StreamYard, Streamlabs, YouTube, the whole 9 yards, anything, and really only limited by your imagination on what you can program the buttons to do. So,
yeah, if they're pretty close to the same price, I'd probably end up getting the big one anyway.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have much of imagination, so I'm not 100%. Like, I know I'm going to put a couple of things in there. Like, I know a couple of things, but maybe as time goes on, this or that, I'll be like, oh, you know what? I could, program a button to do this, and then I'll end up. It'll be a work in progress on it.
You'll be in chats when you're like, oh, I wish I had that sound effect now, because somebody will say something. So then you can go ahead and add that to it.
Yeah. So I definitely knew I wanted that as soon as I decided I was going to stream. So I definitely knew I wanted it. I have a couple of other Elgato products. So Elgato is who makes that. So I have so the device that I use to connect my my DLSR to basically make it like a webcam is an Elgato Camlink 4K. So that's what I use to actually do the capture and stuff from there. And then my lights are Elgato lights, and I even have a couple of Elgato green screens as well. I don't use them anymore. I used to use them in my early videos when I first started my channel and stuff. I used to put the green screens here behind me. But then I just decided I wasn't going to do green screens anymore. So, but I had green tape all over my chair here and stuff like that, so that it would blend in and you couldn't see it. It kind of looked like I was floating in the air here or whatever. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, you'll see that. But so then I had to rip all the green tape off of everything.
I'm pretty sure I'm, subscribed to Clock Family Adventures, and I know I'm subscribed to Eddie Lugo Studios. I would like to make sure that I'm subscribed to yours as well, Mr. Mustard Drill.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
What is your channel name?
The Mustard Drill.
The Mustard Drill. Yep. All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure, because on mine you can never tell what I'm going to pop up as.
that meant everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I see that brings up kind of an interesting story, but I've already monopolized so much of the conversation. I just need to shut up. Well, I talk a lot. And
hey, you go right ahead. I don't mind. I don't mind it.
Well, see, this channel that I'm on right now, the YouTube Police, you'd have the worst time trying to find this channel. And part of the reason for that is because of the fact that, there's a bunch of YouTube Police. I didn't see any of them. And I searched for it when I first, changed my name over to it. But my name initially on this channel was Mental Cop. And I did that because of the fact that, I've got 5 channels. I've got Belt Loop 29, Belt Loop 29 Can Cook, Belt Loop 29 Cute Critters, Belt Loop 29 Gardening. All right.
Uh-oh.
But when I started this channel, I'm a police officer, but I keep out law enforcement. I don't discuss policing matters or law enforcement in my Belt Loop 29 channels. I just don't do it. It's another one of the things that, it's not who I am, it's what I do. And so I was 49 years old before I became a police officer.
Okay.
I didn't go through the academy till I was 50. I was the oldest person to graduate in my class, but that's a whole nother story. But when I had so much fun talking with other officers around at work, and a lot of them have worked on different communities around the state and what have you. A lot of them have more street experience than I do. Well, I have virtually none. All my 9 years in law enforcement has all been at one place, and it's a mental institution. Thus, the mental cop. And you can probably find my channel by typing in mental cop 4646. But that's about the only way, and it has to be one word. But you try searching for YouTube, please. It's very difficult to find, and it will be, I expect, till after I actually get it to a decent level. That's one of the reasons why I'm still doing it. But my original intent with it was just so I could, have a place where I could go and actually discuss law enforcement, stuff with other people. Some people may not understand when another officer says, man, they were going 100 miles an hour and I still hadn't decided whether or not I was going to arrest them or anything until I got up there and they had an attitude. So, some people say, you weren't going to, anyhow, it's just a place. It's a place I felt like we could sit down and talk with other officers. But that, my dog's wanting to play. Hand it here. Hand it here.
I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty much the same for many channels. I mean, I'm a travel agent, and I had a profound love for cruising more than obviously travel, but I mean a profound love for cruising. I had been on tons of cruises as a travel agent, and just one day I said, you know what, I want to start offering my specific perspective on cruising. I would say in hindsight it's probably not all that different from many other cruisers and stuff like that, but but it is different because it comes from me, right? And we're not all exactly the same, right? So that's just, I figured that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start offering my perspective on it, and then as time went on, I started out doing the news and stuff like that and ship tours and stuff, and then I really kind of found that I really wasn't that interested in doing the cruise news, and I wasn't super interested in doing ship tours and stuff. I was more interested in doing a vlogging kind of adventure and stuff. So that's where my channel kind of went and stuff like that. But so I think that's pretty indicative of all of us. I mean, we all want to offer our own perspective on whatever niche or genre or whatever that our channel is relative to. So
Yeah.
Now I retired early, but I retired from the Pennsylvania legislature. So
Cool.
for this Pennsylvania State Senate. Now I wasn't a senator; I was a staffer, right? But I had a lot of close relationships with a lot of senators and stuff like that, or whatever. So I have a profound and unique perspective on the law. Because that's where the law starts, right? That's where it becomes what it is. So, so I mean, I can appreciate you, wanting to have that camaraderie with your fellow police officers.
Well, I tried to develop it up separate from my belt loop accounts. I just didn't want it, I just wanted it to be separate. Yeah. And so, but then I decided to start, that fell through. So I basically hid everything on there, for the longest time. And by the way, I got a second cousin that is just retiring as a state senator.
Oh, okay.
But might as well show off the money.
I figured it had to be something like that down there squeaking away.
Oh yeah, it wasn't me. That's for sure.
I didn't know if maybe you maybe borrowed Z's chair or whatever.
No, she just this my baby girl. She's 7 months old, 7 or 8 now, and she's a handful, ain't you, girl? I'll let you down if you want to go down. Now she's going to start squeaking again, probably. She just wants to play. But anyhow, I was fairly inept when it came to hiding, you know, my identity on this channel. I tried to do a few videos that didn't show my face, just was like music or words and different scenes and that type of thing. But then I'd one of the things I do know is that, to develop it, one of the last things a lot of people focus on, and I seem to, wanted to at least start out doing on this one. Hey, Sharon Rowland. I'm a Boston. Yeah, it is a Boston Terrier. AKC and CKC. It ain't registered right now. We ain't sending in the paperwork, but she is full blooded. We got her from Devil Dog. By the way, Eddie, you mind if I mention somebody that does stickers?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If somebody's interested in getting stickers done,
Yeah,
they ought to get in touch with Devil Dog's Keeper. She does stickers, and she started doing keychains as well. She's about great quality stuff. They, Devil Dog, and by the way, his name's Eddie too, so that's kind of cool. Devil Dog and Devil Dog's Keeper do stickers. They're about half the price of what you're going to pay on Sticker Mule. Great quality stuff. Look beautiful. You can get the what is that, UV protection on them if you need it. You can go through and the only issue I've ever heard about with her stickers, and they've done a lot of them, was somebody put it on their truck and they used a pressure washer on it. They're not really meant for pressure washer, but typical use they do great. Great color, great, and great service. They're quick. Their turnaround's quick. And they're going to be putting out. I mean, they've been doing it a couple months. The reason why they started doing it to begin with was because they used somebody that was local to them, and they had really poor service, poor quality. When they got the stickers, a lot of times there would be mistakes on the stickers. They weren't cut properly. They weren't, the colors were wrong. It just, and she was, anyhow. So they decided to go ahead and start making them. And I know they also, I know a couple people that just couldn't have afforded stickers that have been able to get stickers through them. And so they support a lot of people in their community, and they're good people. So I always recommend people use them if they're interested in stickers or keychains. I think they're going to get the capability of doing T-shirts and that type of thing soon.
Oh, cool.
If you're looking for T-shirts right now, you could try Square County Homestead. Chris is good people as well. His wife does T-shirts. So, in fact, I've got about 4 of their T-shirts. I'm sorry. It's like I have ADHD or something. I jump from thing to thing to thing, bing, 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 bing.
It's called after 50, because I go through the same thing too.
See that shirt that said, "People say I have a squirrel."
Hey, people are always telling me I'm chasing squirrels, even though I ain't seen them.
Sharon,
Mike is
very
to
much
eat them.
for
Right, Mike?
No.
He goes hunting for squirrels and eats them.
Thank you, Sharon. Hey, the reason why I have this dog, and this dog, Nicole, is pick of the litter. I have 2 dogs right now. One is Otis, and the other one is Nicole. I had for years and years, for 9 years, I guess, I had Otis and I had Lulabelle. Well, I didn't realize that the dogs weren't supposed to have grapes. And so a few months back, I let Lulabelle have a grape and she ate it. I offered her another one. She turned her nose up at the second one. Well, I didn't know until later that causes kidney damage. Well, November the 1st, we took Lulabelle to the vet, and they had to put her down. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, anyhow, so uh, Devil Dog had just had, his dogs. He raises dog, Boston Terriers, and Devil Dog offered me pick of the litter. Said he was going to give it to me. They normally sell those dogs for about $800, and that's low considering how much inflation's gone up, what have you. Anyhow, so me and Tammy drove down and picked out Nicole. She's a sweet, sweet dog, and she doesn't. She has little things about her that's idiosyncrasies. Like sometimes she'll growl at Tammy when she goes to wake her up because she ain't finished sleeping. Um, she's a sweet, sweet dog. She's playful. She's good natured, and I love her to death. If it wasn't for having her, I would be focused on the loss of Lulabelle all
Yes,
the time.
yeah. Hmm.
The and before, but because of the fact that Lulabelle and Otis were getting older, there was somebody over in the Walmart parking lot that was giving away dogs. So I picked up a puppy, just because I knew that Lulabelle and Otis weren't going to be around for a long, long time. I still hoped several years, but anyhow, so we picked up a puppy, and I've got several videos of them playing. And Lulabelle was acting like a puppy again, playing with this puppy. And we named her Bella. Well, we got, we had to put Lulabelle down. That happened on November the 1st. Then we got Bella, and we got Bella before Lulabelle passed. And then when Lulabelle passed, Devil Dog offered me Nicole, offered me pick of the litter, and I picked Nicole. And we kept her name that they had given her. And so I brought, Nicole home, and I had Otis, Bella, and Nicole. Um, and Bella was actually, even though she was very playful at this point, she was probably 6 months old, and she towered over Nicole. Nicole was just a little bitty puppy, and she was 6 months old, and this was a dog that was probably 40, 50 pounds by this time at 6 months old, and she was a big dog, and she was very gentle with Nicole, but still sometimes she liked to push the envelope. Well, January the 1st, New Year's Day, she happened to get out. We've got a chain link fence around this yard. And the trouble is, the gate is not perfect. And so sometimes the dogs are able to get outside of it. And Bella got outside the gate, and a truck hit her and killed her.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Anyhow, so that's how we ended up with, but Otis has been a whole lot different since Little Bell is gone. He's been a lot more needier, and he's been a lot more needier. He tends to whine a little bit. He and I guess a little bit more jealous. And so, but now we got, and he and Nicole get to arguing back and forth from time to time, and Nicole ain't even got to be doing anything for Otis to start whining at her or barking at her. Or it's not really a growl as much as it is a yelp or something. I don't know.
Yeah, jealousy.
But he knows when I go live. A lot of times when I go live, and if it's my live, he'll start making it known that he ain't happy. So.
So,
Hey, fellas,
Mike,
get off.
when I saw your Wonder video, your room tour video, I was so happy to see those USB ports over next to the bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, they're not even on even on Oasis and stuff. There's no USB port by the bed. So.
Hopefully, from now on, they'll be doing that. And
know,
hopefully, when they do a retro
chips, I think to myself, why can't they retrofit them? Why can't? I mean, they pull those older ships in that they're still sailing, that they're still packing full of people. put USB ports next to the bed, at least one, right? Like he's like on XL class, there's one, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
Like I said,
one next to
every other ship, I used to have to run a damn extension cord from a CPAP machine too. It's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, like when I was on Anthem in January, I had to there was only an electrical outlet on one side of the bed, right? So I had to run one of those USB hubs from that over behind, basically like down behind the bed in the middle, so that I could have then a cord coming back over to my side, and my wife could have one going over to her side, so that we could charge next to the bed and stuff like that. Because it's still like only one plug next to the bed. So
Yeah, Breakaway didn't have any plugs next to the bed at all. I had to run it over to the little countertop thing.
yeah, when I got on Mardi Gras, like right after the restart, I was like, oh, hallelujah!
Yeah.
Right? When I saw that USB port next to the bed, I was like,
I got an European plug, and Alice says to me, "Why did you get this?" So when we got in the breakaway, pop right in, and she's
yeah.
like, "Oh, hello, we have an extra plug to use, you know." So we had like four things going at the same time. And as
Yeah.
well, you know, I didn't want to leave anything plugged in when we were out. So when we were in the cabin, we were charging everything as possible, you know. So
Well, fellas, I gotta go. I'm getting ready to go to my meeting tonight, so I
Hey.
will
Hey, it's been great talking
catch
to
you
you.
all later.
See
Good
ya.
talking to
Thank
you.
y'all. I'm gonna head
Eddie,
down
I
too.
might be. If you're going to do one later on tonight, I might be back on that one too.
all right, at 11 o'clock tonight, sir.
Okay.
All right, so
See you.
all right, Batman. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. That's the first time we ever talked this long. Me and Batman here from the YouTube police. Nice. Oh, it's raining there right now. No, Sharon, it's not. It did rain earlier. It's still cloudy, like it's gonna rain maybe later. So we'll see. Hopefully, it will rain to keep Sunday that you say it's gonna be in the 90s. So hopefully, it will not. And Orange Cone, all hail the Pineapple King. Right here, right here. uh, YouTube, please hold on. Let me give him a shout out. I will be later on tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern. Everything, you know,
Yeah, I
if
may
you happen to be away,
jump in on that one too tonight, possibly. We'll see how the rest of the
and then Bama here might be. He says he's gonna be editing that late also, so he might pop in also and comment. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you, Scott, for popping in and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, and Mike and Mr. YouTube Police, Mr. Batman, Gary, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. Everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging around. We'll be back live tonight at 11 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, if I don't fall asleep, I'll be up and ready to go, and I'll be awake somehow. Hopefully, with a nice cup of coffee. So until then, everybody have a blessed afternoon. Enjoy your evening. Have a nice dinner. Whatever you got to do, you go do. And then hopefully we'll see you all later. So until then, have a good night. Stay out of trouble. I got no money for bail, so come looking for me later. All right.